The Philippines, once called the Pearl of the Orient, had become known as Asia's sick man. These were the words that filled newspapers and TV screens throughout the 1980s and 90s, echoing in every Filipino home. Images showed crowded slums in Manila, where families squeezed into tiny spaces struggling to get by. Streets overflowed with jobless men and women, waiting for something, anything to change their fortunes. The peso fell and prices soared, making even basic goods feel out of reach for many. Many families faced empty tables and hungry children, unsure where their next meal would come from. For the youth, dreams of a better life felt very far away, almost impossible to imagine. In the cities, traffic jams grew worse, but progress did not arrive. Factories shut their gates, leaving workers with nowhere to go. School children walked barefoot, their classrooms crumbling, their futures uncertain. On the news, angry voices debated the country's future, arguing over who was to blame and what could be done. Some wondered if the Philippines would ever rise again or if hope was lost for good. Meanwhile, in the provinces, farmers suffered from droughts and typhoons. Their livelihoods washed away or dried up. Crops failed and debts grew, forcing many to leave their land in search of work elsewhere. Desperation was in the air, and uncertainty clouded every conversation. Every day, headlines told stories of struggle, corruption, coups, calamities, and disasters that seemed never-ending. Faith in the nation's promise was shaken, and many wondered if things would ever improve. But behind every sad headline, millions of Filipinos still woke up each morning, holding on to hope for better days. They worked, prayed, and waited for the tide to turn, believing that someday, the sun would rise on a brighter future. As jobs disappeared and opportunities at home grew scarce, many Filipinos faced an agonizing decision that would change their lives forever. Mothers and fathers, driven by hope and necessity, left their families behind to seek work in distant lands. Some became nurses in the Middle East, caring for strangers far from home. Others worked as maids in Hong Kong or sailed as seafarers on ships that crossed vast oceans, all in search of a better future. These departures were not triumphs, but sacrifices made out of love and desperation. At airports, tearful goodbyes became a painful routine, with families clinging to each other for a few last moments. Children grew up with empty seats at the dinner table, missing the warmth and guidance of their parents. Grandparents or older siblings stepped in, doing their best to fill the gap, but the absence was always felt. Letters and cassette tapes filled with longing and love replaced the hugs and laughter that once filled their homes. Birthdays, graduations, and holidays were celebrated through photos, phone calls, and video chats, not with family gathered around the table. Back home, the money sent by overseas workers kept families afloat, paying for food, medicine, and daily needs. Houses were repaired, school fees paid, and dreams for a better life kept alive, all thanks to these remittances. Yet the price was high. Loneliness, longing, and the ache of separation haunted both those who left and those who stayed. Some marriages broke under the strain, unable to withstand the distance and the years apart. Young people longed for guidance, missing the wisdom and comfort of their parents, growing up too soon in their absence. The country's brightest hopes, its teachers, nurses, engineers, left for foreign shores, fearing they might never return home. This era marked a time of deep sacrifice, when love was measured in distance and longing. The Philippines survived, but at a heavy cost: broken families, lost time, and a nation scattered across the world, forever changed by the search for a better life. Yet, even in hardship, the Filipino spirit did not break. In every barangay, neighbors shared what little they had. Bayanihan, the spirit of helping one another, was alive. Jeepney drivers worked extra hours to send their children to school. Teachers taught with few supplies, but endless heart. In churches and town plazas, prayers rose for loved ones far away. Music and laughter still filled the air during fiestas. The will to survive, and even to smile, became a source of strength. Resilience grew in the face of adversity. Ordinary people showed extraordinary courage. A street vendor sent all 5 children to college. A mother, working as a nanny abroad, bought her family's first home. Small victories kept hope alive, even when national leaders failed to deliver. This spirit, the refusal to give up, became the hidden engine of the country's future comeback. The world underestimated the Filipino, but the Filipino never lost faith in tomorrow. The dawn of the new millennium brought signs of change. In the 2000s, the Philippine economy began to grow. Malls and condominium towers rose along the skyline of Manila and Cebu. Job fairs attracted hopeful young people, eager for new opportunities. GDP numbers, once stagnant, started to climb. International investors took notice. News reports shifted tone. Now they spoke of a rising tiger, not a sick man. Call centers and IT parks spread in cities large and small, creating jobs for millions. With more jobs at home, some overseas Filipino workers returned, families reunited, and young people dared to dream bigger dreams. Traffic still clogged the roads, but it now meant people were going to work, not waiting in despair. Optimism returned to daily life. Parents talked about sending their children to better schools. Business owners expanded, hiring more staff. The Philippines was no longer stuck in the past, it was moving forward. The turnaround was powered by two engines: remittances from overseas Filipino workers and the rise of the business process outsourcing industry. Every year, overseas Filipino workers sent home billions of dollars. Their sacrifices built houses, paid for education, and started small businesses. At the same time, foreign companies discovered the Filipino talent for customer service. Call centers flourished in Makati, Ortigas, and Davao. Young professionals found good jobs without leaving the country. English skills, patience, and hard work made Filipinos a top choice for global firms. For the first time in decades, the Philippines became known for its people's strength, not its weakness. Technology connected families separated by oceans. Skype calls replaced letters. New money flowed into the economy, and hope flowed back into Philippine hearts. These developments did not erase all pain, but they gave millions a chance to prosper without saying goodbye to loved ones. The Philippines had unique strengths no crisis could erase. Filipinos spoke English fluently, a gift from history that opened doors in global business. The culture of hospitality, learned from generations of welcoming guests, became a business asset. Adaptability was another secret weapon. Whether shifting from farming to call centers or moving from city to city, Filipinos adjusted quickly to change. The willingness to learn and to serve made workers here stand out. These strengths also attracted tourists, investors, and partners from around the world. The warmth of a Filipino smile, the patience on a long call, the ability to solve problems creatively, these became the country's brand. As the world changed, the Philippines was ready to meet new challenges with old values and fresh skills. None of this growth happened by accident. Reforms in banking, taxes, and infrastructure paved the way. Corruption was fought, with some success. New highways, airports, and bridges connected remote towns to markets and cities. Digital banking and microloans helped small entrepreneurs, like Aling Nena, who grew her sari-sari store into a small grocery, hiring neighbors and sending her children to college. Farmers learned new techniques and gained better access to buyers. In cities, young people took up tech jobs, breaking the cycle of poverty. The government improved tax collection and spent more on schools and clinics. Ordinary lives changed in quiet ways. A jeepney driver opened his first savings account. A fisherman's daughter became the first in her family to graduate college. Progress came step by step, but it was real, and it touched millions. The journey was not perfect, but the lives behind the numbers proved that reform mattered. For all its gains, the Philippines faces real risks. Too much of the economy still depends on remittances and BPOs. If robots take over call centers, or if other countries attract more workers, growth could stall. Migration still takes parents away from home. Inequality remains a challenge. Shiny malls in the cities do not erase poverty in the countryside. Some communities are left behind, struggling to catch up. Climate change brings new dangers. Floods, typhoons, and droughts threaten farmers and cities alike. The country must do more to share opportunities. Rural areas need better roads, schools, and clinics. Young people need training for new jobs in technology and green energy. The fight against corruption and crime must continue. But knowing these challenges is the first step to overcoming them. The Filipino story is not one of easy victory, but of constant effort and hope. Education has been the quiet force behind the country's rise, shaping the future of countless young Filipinos. It is in the classrooms, both humble and modern, where the seeds of progress are sown every day. Better schools, new training centers, and scholarships have opened doors for millions, giving hope to families who once thought opportunity was out of reach. These investments are changing lives, one student at a time. In Cebu, a fisherman's son became a software engineer, proving that talent can flourish when given a chance, no matter where you come from. In Ilocos, a farmer's daughter is now a nurse in a city hospital, caring for others and inspiring her community to dream bigger. These are not just statistics or numbers on a page. They are stories of perseverance, sacrifice, and hope. They are proof that dreams can be built, step by step, through hard work and the support of loved ones. City schools often have more resources, but rural teachers work miracles with little, turning makeshift classrooms into places of inspiration and learning. NGOs and community groups bring books and hope to remote villages, lighting the spark of curiosity in children who may be seeing their first storybook. Each diploma, each new skill learned, is a victory for a family and for the nation. Every achievement, no matter how small, is a step forward for the Philippines. The path forward will never be easy. Challenges remain, and every day brings new obstacles to overcome. But every ordinary Filipino who lifts his family, who serves his community, who overcomes hardship, is a hero in the Philippine comeback story. Their quiet acts of courage and kindness are the foundation of national pride. Today, the rest of Asia sees the Philippines not as the sick man, but as a rising economic tiger, full of energy and promise. The journey is not over, but the world now knows. The Filipino spirit can rise above any storm, rebuilding stronger each time adversity strikes. With hard work, hope, and unity, the best chapters are yet to come. Together, Filipinos are writing a story of resilience, pride, and unstoppable progress.